श्रीवत्सवंशकलशोदधिकौस्तुभस्य श्रीवासराघवगुरोस्तनयं ततश्च विद्या अवाप्य विबुधोत्तमतां दधानं कुर्वे सदा हृदि गुरुं करुणाकराख्यं लक्ष्मीनाथसमारम्भां नाथयामुनमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुक्मव्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दयैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवतयस्तनया विभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य नः कुलपतेर्वकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगलं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं सरश्च महदाह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखरयोगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेणुपरकालयतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम् श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदा हृदि. In the previous two lectures, we were seeing about Artha Panchaka. 2 lectures back, we saw 3 out of the 5. Prapya, Praptru and Praptyupaya. Prapya is that which needs to be attained. We defined Prapya as Paramatma. Paramatma is the one who needs to be attained. Then there is Praptru, the person who is attaining. We defined that as the Jiva, who needs to attain Prapti of the Prapya, that is attainment of Paramatma. Then we talked about Praptyupaya, the means to attain that Paramatma. The 4th in Artha Panchaka was charted by us. It is called Prapti Virodhi. Rather than discussing Prapti Virodhi directly, we discussed about Ahankara in specific. So we talked about how to understand the concept of Ahankara, how Ahankara as a bad quality is different from Dharmijnana, and how scriptures do declare the Jiva as the Karta. It is the doer. Yet, despite being doers, we should not claim ownership of whatever we are doing. That was seen in the previous class. Today, we are going to look at Prapti Virodhi as a complete topic, rather than just a small aspect, a specific aspect of it. Then we will look at the final among the 5 arthas, that is Prapti itself. What are the roadblocks? Prapti Virodhi means enemy towards attainment. This Prapti Virodhi works in several different ways. If you see practically, the character of a person could be a roadblock. Sita Devi says in Ramayana, and we have seen the shloka n number of times. Papanam va shubhanam va vadharhanam plavangama karyam karuna maryena nakaschin na paradhyati. Sita Devi says, there is nobody who is not an aparadhi. Everybody is a sinner in some way or the other. Everybody is imperfect in some way or the other, except for Bhagavan himself. All of us are imperfect in some way or the other. This imperfection, if it manifests in the form of character, then it could become a roadblock. What do you mean by manifesting in the form of character? How do I display my character? There are 3 ways: thoughts, words, actions. Manasa, vacha, karmana. By the mind, by the thoughts. If I have evil thoughts and I don't speak anything bad, I don't do anything bad, it would still count as Papa Karma. I would still get some Papa Karma Phala. Likewise, Vacha, through vak, through the words, not necessarily speech, any form of communication, maybe written or even typed, doesn't matter. There, if I display evil character, even if I don't do any harm, let us say I threaten to kill a person, but I don't kill the person. I have done nothing wrong technically, but because I have threatened, I will still get papa karma. Then there is karmana, by action. By action, if I, sorry, if I commit something wrong, there is obviously going to be a consequence for it. So the character of a person, which is determined through thoughts, words, and actions, if that character is not good, it could be a roadblock. Why do I use the word could? Because papa karma phala comes in many ways. You commit a sin. How do you get the result of it? It is some form of pain. Some form of pain. It could be adhyatmika, adidaivika, or adibhautika. We have already discussed that. This pain, if it is just a form of suffering for us, maybe I become sad. Some problem comes to me, I become sad. Maybe, although the problem is coming and I'm becoming sad, I am not taken away from my path towards moksha, from my path towards prapya, that is Bhagavan. But is that always the case? No. So when we commit crimes through thoughts, words, or actions, some of those bad karmas return to us in the form of situations that take us away from the path towards moksha. Let us take Duryodhana as an example. In my life, I have not seen Krishna avatar. Duryodhana got to see Krishna. Not once or twice, but so many times. Did Duryodhana fall at the feet of Krishna even once? Did he perform Sharanagati even once? He did not. We go to the temple. The ordinary Hindu goes to the temple and worships Bhagavan. Duryodhana, who saw Krishna live, did not do it. Why? He could not realize the greatness of Krishna. It takes a very long time for Duryodhana to understand his divinity. During the Mahabharata Yuddha, Bhishma has special weapons. It is a great secret. Bhishma, after being continuously criticized by Duryodhana, Karna, and Shakuni, says, "Don't worry, I have these weapons with which I can definitely kill the Pandavas." The great Bhishma finally decides to kill the Pandavas. But Krishna, being the all-knowing person, he tricks the Kauravas into gifting the Astras to the Pandavas. Duryodhana is forced to maintain his honor. He has to pay back in some form. He has to show the gratitude towards the Pandavas. As a display of gratitude, he gives the Astras to Pandavas. This has happened. Now, Duryodhana thinks, what has happened? How did Krishna find out? At that moment, he realizes maybe he is really the Paramatma that everybody is talking about. Maybe Krishna is really the Supreme. But even at that point of time, Duryodhana does not fall at the feet of Krishna. He does not say Karpanya doshopahatasva bhava. He does not say, "Oh Krishna, I have committed crimes, please save me." He does not say, "Oh Krishna, I am confused what to do now, please save me." He doesn't say anything. He continues on his wrong path. The same Duryodhana, sometime before in Mahabharata, has commented that he is aware of his bad qualities. He says, "I am aware of my bad qualities. I am aware that my character is bad. I am aware that whatever I am doing is injustice, but I am not able to stop myself." Why is he not able to stop himself? The past bad karmas that he has committed these past bad karmas are preventing him to be good even when he wants to. In his entire lifetime, once or twice he wants to be good. Even in those situations, they don't let him. At other points of time, they prevent him from even wanting to be good. That is how effective the papa karma is. So, as he keeps on sinning, eventually he goes against Bhagavan also. He has committed so many adharmas, one of them is going against Bhagavan. So that is there. So if we have a bad character, it is not just that we might get Naraka. After Naraka, we are anyway going to be born again. Is my path towards moksha getting hindered? It is not necessary that we just feel some pain or sadness. It is also possible that moksha gets delayed. The delayer of moksha is what we call prapti virodhi. As per Vishishtadvaitha Vedanta, as taught by Bhagavad Ramanuja, everybody is fit to attain moksha and everybody does eventually attain moksha. If everybody is going to attain moksha, why should anybody follow any rule at all? There is a difference. One person attains today, one person attains after a few years, one person attains after 1 crore kalpas. That is the difference. If you are good, you will get Sadgati sooner. As long as you are bad, you will not get Sadgati. You will have to change yourself. But after you become good, if you keep remaining good, that is not going to be enough because your papa karmas are there. They are going to eventually make you to commit crimes as well. And punyas also get exhausted as you experience pleasure. The best that you can get that way through punya is Swarga, Indraloka. What can you get beyond that? Beyond that, what you can get is moksha. And that moksha is attained through Sharanagati. This we have discussed in the past. So, one has to come out of papa karma. Coming out of papa karma is not enough. Sometimes, punya karma is also a prapti virodhi. I said bad character is a prapti virodhi. That is understandable. How can good character be prapti virodhi? Is it even possible? Good character, we are not saying that you should be characterless or that you should behave like a statue. As a matter of fact, being idle counts as a display of tamoguna. And therefore, a person who is idle is taken to be going in the wrong path. But a person with a good character who does a lot of punyas, if the person gets the phala for that, there is Varganubhava. The person attains Indraloka, he is happy in Amaravati. There is a possibility that some of his past papa karmas convince him to stick to that punya. I'm experiencing so much pleasure here. Therefore, let me forget about going towards Bhagavan. Let me keep enjoying all the pleasures. He gets addicted to the pleasures. And therefore, beyond a point, he is not able to elevate himself. What is preventing him from elevating himself? What is the prapti virodhi in this case? Well, you could argue that it is past papa karma, but that past papa karma is making you to stick to punya karma phala. Therefore, punya karma phala is also involved. Punya gives you good results. Those good results, although inferior to the result of moksha, could blind you and could make you forget about moksha. Therefore, there are places in Divya Prabandham where the Alvars are calling even punya as papa. Even punya is a prapti virodhi. Are we saying that you should be with zero character? No. But anything in excess could get you addicted to it. Are we saying that you should do punya and papa in moderation? No. We still say that papa karma should be minimized and punya karma should be maximized. And when both of these are done, very importantly, you should do karma phala tyaga. You should renounce doership and believe that it is Bhagavan who is doing everything. Bhagavan eva svaniyamya. That is how we should take it. That is about character. But character is not the only thing, right? Karmas affect us in numerous ways. There are duties. Sometimes we are blinded by our duties. Let us go back to Mahabharata. Dhritarashtra got confused. Is it not my duty as a father to ensure that my son is happy? Duryodhana, along with people like Shakuni, manages to convince his father that it is his duty to ensure the happiness of his son. It is my duty to be a good father, therefore I could be wrong. Therefore I could do something incorrect. We see a similar story in the case of Dronacharya. Dronacharya is convinced by his wife to teach his son certain astras. Ashwathama does not have the adhikara to learn those specific astras. He is not qualified enough. Yet, Dronacharya teaches it because he is pressurized. How is he pressurized? It is your duty to teach your son. How can you ignore your son? You teach everything to Arjuna. Is Arjuna your son? Arjuna may be your Shishya, but Ashwathama is your son. In this way, duty takes it away. In the name of duty, Dasharatha is questioned by Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi, there is a long argument between Kaikeyi and Dasharatha. In Valmiki Ramayana, we can see shloka after shloka. So many different ways by which Kaikeyi tries to corner him. So many different ways by which he tries to come out. Eventually, he is forced. He does not know what to do. As a father, his duty is to coronate Rama. But as a husband who has promised his wife, his duty is to keep the promise. What should I do? He is ready to let Rama take over the kingdom. He is fine with Rama killing him and taking over the kingdom. But he does not want separation from Rama. He wants Rama to be there. At least as long as I am alive, my son should be here. That is what Dasharatha thinks. This particular thought is not so dharmic. Let my son kill me and then rule. That is not a very dharmic thing. But he is thinking that. Why? Because he is stuck. He is stuck between two different paths. And both of them appear to be his duties. One is his duty. The other is his duty, desire, as well as public opinion. He does not know what to do. He gets depressed. He keeps crying. He falls down unconscious, gets up. He tries a lot of things. Kaikeyi does not listen till the end. Rama, when he is presented in front of Dasharatha, Dasharatha does not tell him to go. Dasharatha does not tell Rama to go to the forest. Why? As a duty, or as the duty of a person of Raghuvamsha, of Ikshvaku Vamsha, of Surya Vamsha, as the father of Rama, how could I be wrong to him? This is a question Dasharatha has already asked Kaikeyi. Out of this dilemma, he refuses to speak. He is unable to speak. He is so full of sadness, but he does not speak. Who tells Rama to go to the forest? Kaikeyi says it. And how does she say it? She says it as, she presents it as the desire of Dasharatha. For the well-being of your father, please listen to what he wants you to do. He has given me a promise and I have exercised it in this way. Therefore, you have to go to the forest. Kaikeyi presents it to Rama that way. But look at Dasharatha. The duties are preventing him. How did Kaikeyi get convinced to become so adharmic? Duty as a mother towards Bharata. Kaikeyi tells her servant, so what if Rama rules? There is no problem. After 1,000 years, Rama will give the kingdom away to Bharata. Why should I worry about it? The servant says, no, don't be an idiot. That is not what is going to happen. You are living in a dreamland. Your son will always be treated as secondary. You will also be treated as secondary, but your son will always be treated as secondary. As a matter of fact, he could very well be harmed. So, thinking it to be her duty as a mother towards Bharata, Kaikeyi does not have anything against Bharata. Thinking of it as a duty, she gets convinced. She allows herself to get convinced to do something wrong. Then comes promise. Of course, we have seen the example of Dasharatha himself. He has promised. Now he is trapped. There are such stories in scriptures where people make promises and the promises are exploited by people. Therefore, we get a lesson from the same Ramayana. Ravana has been killed. Sita is there in Ashoka Vatika. Hanuman goes there, conveys the message of victory, and he asks for a request. I would like to do something. Can you give me permission? Can you give me a boon to do something that I want to do? Sita Devi does not say yes. She is not willing to sign on a blank paper. She asks Hanuman, what is it that you want? Then Hanuman says, all these Rakshasis have been tormenting you for so long. I want to torture them back so that they learn a lesson. After hearing what he wants to do, Sita Devi says, sorry, I cannot give you the permission. It is in that context that the shloka cited, Papa Namva, Shubha Namva also comes. So, Sita Devi is very clear. Don't promise blindly. If you give a promise blindly, tomorrow you would have to suffer. Society is also mentioned as a roadblock. By birth, we are indebted to the society. We are indebted to the rishis, to Bhagavan, to Devatas. All of that is there, to our ancestors. We are also, in a way, indebted to society. We are indebted to society in numerous ways. If not for the farmer, I wouldn't have food. Obvious, we don't have to explain it further. At the same time, the society could sometimes bind us. There are expectations from the society. Nobody would respect me if I don't have money. Therefore, I need money. Therefore, I would steal. Nobody would treat me properly if I behaved in a very polite manner. Therefore, I should behave in a different way. Thinking about what others would think of me if I start doing wrong things, that would also become a roadblock. If I'm so dependent on the society, on the approval from the society, then I could get moved away from the path of moksha. Okay. Is there anything else? Yes. Inability. This inability is an important thing. Let us go back to the example of Duryodhana. He wanted to do. At some point of time, he realized that he is unable to change himself. Let us assume he wants to become good, but is unable. A person who drinks liquor every day Maybe one day after drinking, he does something so bad that he keeps regretting it. The next day, he says, I will not drink at all, no matter what happens. But what happens? At that specific time when he used to drink every day, when that time comes, his hands start shaking. He starts losing self control. He is unable to control his mind properly. He is unable to behave properly. He knows that something is gone, something is lost, something is not right. I am sick and I need medicine. And what is that medicine? Liquor. Liquor is harmful for health. It is harmful for physical and mental health. It is also potentially harmful when you are living in the society. At the same time, the same liquor has been directly banned by the Vedic scriptures. Vedas speak against them. Itihasas speak against them. Puranas speak against them. Dharmashastras speak against them. Every scripture speaks against liquor drinking. The Vedas say the liquor drinker goes to hell. The liquor drinker goes to Naraka. We have, of course, seen that Swarga and Naraka are not just states of the mind. Like how certain people say poverty is the state of the mind. There are some others who say Swarga and Naraka are also states of the mind and they are all there on earth itself. But that is not we believe. That is not what we believe. We believe that Swarga is real, Naraka is real. And a person who drinks liquor goes to Naraka. People who associate themselves with the liquor drinker, people who are his friends, who do not stop him from drinking, they also attain Naraka along with him. This is said in the Upanishads. In more than one Upanishad, this is said. As a matter of fact, there is an entire chapter called Madhuvidya. But let us not get too deep into this example. We are talking about somebody who wants to improve but is unable to improve. He never mastered his mind. He did not do meditation, tapasya, whatever, to be able to get complete hold over his body. He has just been a normal person. And on top of that, he has been drinking every day. Now he is unable to change himself immediately. Therefore, he continues to sin. And therefore, there is a roadblock. Here, there are two things for us to keep in mind. Firstly, a question may be asked. If, even though I want to do good, I end up doing something bad, whose fault is it? Perhaps we have discussed this before. Duryodhana asks, when I was born itself, oh Vidura, you say that when I was born there were bad omens and astrologers asked you to kill me. If that is so, where is my fault? It is all Bhagavan's fault. I am not bad because I want to be bad. I am bad because Bhagavan wanted me to be bad. Whose fault is it? It is Bhagavan's fault. A person could argue that way, right? I want to genuinely stop drinking, but I am not able. Therefore, the fault is not mine, but Bhagavan's. He makes me to sin and then he punishes me for sinning. What sort of almighty is he? Why should I pray to such a person? He is evil. Such an argument could be placed. But our scriptures have given an answer to this. Our scriptures say every crime that is committed unknowingly or without any control over that crime is a result of a past crime of equivalent magnitude. In the past, I would have knowingly done something wrong. As a result, today I would be unknowingly doing something wrong. In the past, I might have voluntarily done something wrong. As a result, today I might be involuntarily doing something wrong. Here, once again, a question could be raised. If you did something wrong in the past and you're doing something wrong in the present as a result of that, do you get two papa karma phalas? Or do you get one? The answer is what happens here is a case of what is called telescopic cancellation. The phala for a karma could manifest itself in the form of anubhava, that is experience, or in the form of another karma. If karma phala manifests itself in the form of another karma, that would be where you are involuntarily or unknowingly committing a crime. So you are not accumulating any new papa karma, to think of it that way, right? I did something bad. As a result, I do something bad. Finished. Karma, karma phala. But now I'm doing something bad. I will get the phala of that. Correct? That is going to be there. You take all of these up, you will see I did a bad karma minus x. I get karma phala plus x. It becomes 0. This karma phala itself is a bad karma. So again minus x. Then for that I get karma phala plus x. Overall 0. Karma, karma phala, they get cancelled. But what is it that we understand from this? In short, if we look at it closely, we would realize that one sin committed in the distant past would give you the bad experience at a distant future. But in between, instead of giving you a bad experience, it would make you a bad person. And when you are a bad person, involuntarily, unknowingly, you may not be incurring new papa karma. When you willingly do it, you incur papa karma, fresh papa karma. So what makes you involuntarily commit crimes? That is also your own past papa karma. My own past sins will lead me to sin today involuntarily or unknowingly. Therefore, it is not Bhagavan who should be blamed, but myself who needs to be blamed. Whenever there is any problem that you face, somehow or the other, the reality is that you are responsible for it. Maybe I was just walking on the footpath, but some dog ran towards me and bit me. I could argue I did nothing wrong, but the dog bit me. No, I would have done something wrong in the distant past. Maybe in some past life I did something bad. Because of that, I'm suffering right now with the dog bite. Therefore, in Tirupavai, Goda Devi says, Naneda Nayuduga. We should think that we are responsible for our karma phalas. If there is something bad happening, I am only responsible for something bad happening to me, not anybody else. Let us not blame anybody else, be it Bhagavan or another human or even an animal. Let us not put the blame anywhere else. Let us accept the responsibility. Lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. When I don't have knowledge, I could end up committing crimes. There are people who insult others. And then eventually, when they find out how great they are, they say, oh, sorry, I did not realize how great you are. There are stories, for example, there is a story of an Indian king who wanted to buy a car during the colonial era. Not realizing who he is, the people there insulted him. What did the king do? He showed his real self. He bought so many Rolls Royce cars and used them for cleaning and sweeping in his kingdom. Well, at some point, the people who committed the crimes apologized to him. Sorry, we did not know who you were. We see many such stories, right? When people do not have the knowledge, they tend to commit crimes. When you do not know that he is Bhagavan, you could mistake him for an ordinary person and speak as you please. Shishupala spoke that way. Of course, it is a sign of evil. Does lack of knowledge always lead to evil? Not necessarily. It need not lead to evil, but it could prevent me from advancing further. If I don't even know that there is a Paramatma, if I am an atheist, Would I ever perform Sharanagati? No. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja. Let us say I am a theist, but I do not know the teaching that I have to perform Sharanagati. Then, once again, I do not do it. Either way, lack of knowledge, whether or not it is bringing me physical or mental harm, it is bringing a delay to moksha. Therefore, lack of knowledge is also a roadblock. Then comes lack of realization. There are plenty of people who commit crimes, but they don't realize it. Once, there was a person who had mastered all the scriptures, but he did not realize the teachings of the scriptures. Do you know of any such person? Oh, there are plenty of such people. Ravana was a master of scriptures, yet he did not realize the teachings of scriptures. Therefore, he remained evil, and therefore he was destroyed. So, lack of realization. Do you think Ravana does not know that kidnapping the wife of another man is a sin? Of course, he knows. He knows that he is wrong. He knows it, but he has not realized it. He has not realized the system of karma and karma phala. He has not realized that if I do something wrong today, tomorrow I will suffer. Papaya paripidanam. He does not know that. He knows, he has studied the scripture, but he has not realized it. Therefore, he continues to do it. If we are to summarize, see, the roadblocks could be your current mistakes. Today I do something wrong through thoughts, words, or actions. Or today, without any control, I might be forced to do something wrong, right? As we said. So ultimately, what decides whether we have that freedom and what decides whether we exercise that freedom to take the right choice, although not to 100%, to a great extent, the decider here is our own past karma. Therefore, our own past karma is a roadblock towards moksha. If we are to technically discuss about the roadblocks, one roadblock is ahankara. We discussed ahankara in the previous class, so we will not get into the details today. The second roadblock is mamakara. What is mamakara? We discussed it in short in the previous class. How is it different from ahankara? If I think I am great, it is ahankara. If I think these are all mine, those are all mine, that is mamakara. There is another roadblock which is avidya, ignorance, lack of knowledge. We just discussed it. All the other things that we discussed could be put as directly or indirectly a result of one of the six enemies of mankind. What are these six enemies of man? Kama, Krodha, Mada, Matsarya, Lobha, Moha. Kama, desire. Is desire an enemy of man? Some people said, desire is always an enemy, therefore you should desire nothing. But in Vedanta, we do not say that way. Even in Advaita Vedanta, Adi Shankaracharya talks about four sadhanas. Ihamutra phalabhoga viraga, shamadamadi sadhana sampat, nityanitya vastu viveka. What is the fourth one? He says mumukshutvam. What is mumukshutvam? The state of being desirous of moksha. You need to have a desire to get moksha, says Shankaracharya. In a similar way, right now we are not seeing the school of Shankaracharya. We are seeing Vishishtadvaitha. Here also we say, wanting to get moksha is okay. It is not wrong. But what about those places in scriptures where it is said that karma is always bad? or that every kind of karma is bad. Those places should be interpreted as every laukika karma is bad. Karma in prakrita vishayas is bad. Karma in the inferior things is bad. Desire in the supreme being is not bad. Desire to get moksha is not bad. Desire to get free from all trouble is not bad. That desire is fine. You can very well have it. That desire is not an enemy. All the other desires are enemies. We should be very clear here. If we say that desire itself is an enemy, then desiring to be desireless would also be an enemy. We would get into a logical trouble, logical contradiction. So we should clearly understand that when we say that desire is the enemy of man, it refers to desire in anything and everything other than moksha, desire in anything and everything other than Bhagavan. There are people, now I differentiated, I said moksha, then I said Bhagavan. Why? There are some people who might immediately say, what about those saints who said, I don't want moksha, I just want you? They sing to Bhagavan that way. I don't want moksha, but I want you. What about them? Well, they still want Bhagavan, right? Therefore, that desire is not wrong. Krodha, we translate it as anger. Ideally, we should write it as undue anger. How do you get the word undue? That word is not here in Sanskrit. Krodha translates to anger only. What is the problem? Why should we call it undue anger? There is a reason. In Ramayana, Shri Rama gets angry. Do you know where? He gets angry at Jabali. He gets angry at Ravana as well later on. We see such things, instances of Rama getting angry. Rama gets angry on Varuna. Rama gets angry on Jabali. Rama gets angry on Ravana. Rama, who is called the perfect man, is getting angry. How is this fair? We should think carefully about it. When we say that Rama gets angry, we imply that he is extremely disgusted with adharma and is reacting to it. This reaction, how exactly is Rama reacting? We should look at it carefully. When Jabali suggests that Rama forget the promise made by his father to Kaikeyi, he says, your father himself is no more. Why should you think about such promises? Come back. Everybody wants you. Your father is no more, so don't worry. You just come back and start ruling. Rama gets angry at Jabali. The cause of anger is dharmic. Why? He sees adharma and he gets angry at adharma. Okay. Is it enough if the cause of anger is dharmic? No. The display of anger should also be dharmic. Many people fail here, unfortunately. Many people who are affiliated to Sanatana Dharma, they get angry for all the right reasons, but they do not display their anger in an appropriately righteous way. The reaction that we show should not only be proportional to the crime that is committed, but should also be limited by our own authority as well as the dharmic guidelines. There are rules, for example, on how to punish each crime. There is a difference between a pickpocket and a serial killer, right? If somebody steals my money, I display anger towards him for stealing money. If somebody kills my close relative, I show anger to him. Can I show the same amount of anger in both cases? No. Can I punish the pickpocket excessively? No. So there are limitations. Anger needs to be channelized and displayed in the most appropriate way. You look at how Rama showed anger, you will not see a single place where Rama has committed adharma. He has not broken any moral code. He has not broken any rule. Many people misunderstand Bhagavad Gita. They say Rama lived a life and said we should follow rules. Krishna said you can break the rules. Krishna said you can break dharma. No, Krishna never said you can break dharma. There is something called Samanya Dharma and Vishesha Dharma. What is dharma on a normal day is Samanya Dharma. What is dharma at a specific occasion, at a specific point of time? That would be Vishesha Dharma. For a specific person, that would be Vishesha Dharma. Krishna merely taught Arjuna that as per Samanya Dharma, you should obey your elders. But right now, the situation is different. Right now, the situation is totally different. Therefore, O Arjuna, do not think about Samanya Dharma. Think about Vishesha Dharma, which says that Varna Dharma is superior to your Dharma as a relative. As a Kshatriya, it is your duty to uphold Dharma. And therefore, you have to fight against these people even though they are your relatives. So there is so much inside. Anger, the cause of anger has to be appropriate. And the display of anger should also be appropriate. Only when both of these, both the cause and the display, are as per the limitations given in Sanatana Dharma, given in the scriptures, we can rest assured that it is not an enemy. If any one of them is incorrect, if without any reason I get angry at a person, we see so many things, right? There are so many movies. We see a guy, there are two men who love the same woman. What does one guy do? He says, oh, how dare you like the same woman as me? I will start hating you. I will show anger towards you. Obviously, that is a wrong thing. Even the common man who watches movies knows that. So the cause of anger has to be valid. Likewise, the display of anger should also be valid. The display of anger cannot be something that is inappropriate. Many people fail here. I'm saying this again. Many people fail here. When it comes to display of anger, they lose control of themselves and exceed the limitations put forth by moral, logical, and dharmic sources. Then comes mada, greed. I want this, I want that. I want a lot of money, therefore I steal. Simple as that. It is wrong. We know that. We should not be greedy. I want to be acknowledged as a great person. Therefore, I will pretend to be a great person. I will imitate great people. And if anybody tries to expose me, I will harm them. I will attack them in some way. That is also greed. Greed for power, greed for possession, greed for money. Greed is of so many types. Matsarya. Matsarya, Lobha, Moha. These three are also self-explanatory. It appears that I have made a mistake in the slide. It needs to be corrected. While Lobha is what refers to greed, Mada is not really referring to greed. Mada is ego. So it is the case where I want to protect my interest. I gave the correct example. Unfortunately, it is typed incorrectly and I spoke incorrectly. Sorry for that. Mada refers to ego. Oh, I am so great. I want to project myself as a great person. Therefore, I will behave in a particular way. That is wrong. Then there is Matsarya, Lobha, which is actual greed. And then there is Moha. So, All of these, jealousy, addictive attachment. Why do you call it addictive attachment? Moha, which is called attachment, being attached is by itself not going to prompt you to do something wrong or take you away from moksha. Yes, attachment towards jiva or even jada is something that could eventually lead you away from Paramatma. However, what we have is an addictive attachment. Bhagavad Ramanuja, when he took up sannyasa, when a person takes sannyasa ashrama, he is supposed to declare that he has renounced all relatives. One of the statements one of the declarations he is supposed to make is that he is renouncing all relatives. No more family member. No more person to bind me by relationship. They are supposed to declare it. Bhagavad Ramanuja did not declare it that way. He added the names of a few people and said, except for the relationship with these people, I will forego relationship with everybody else. Is this the way a sannyasi should speak? Isn't it wrong? Isn't he having attachment towards people? Shouldn't he come out of attachment from everybody if he is becoming a sannyasi? The answer, Bhagavad Ramanuja said, these people who I want to remain attached to are those people about whom, if I think, I will get bhakti towards Bhagavan. These are those people who are dear to Bhagavan. These are those people whose thoughts, words, and actions all lead you towards Bhagavan. Therefore, when as a sannyasi I can't even leave my attachment towards Bhagavan, how can I leave my attachment towards those people who lead me towards Bhagavan? It is a very valid argument. So attachment, yes, attachment towards Bhagavan and things that lead towards Bhagavan, that is okay. Otherwise, it is wrong. Now, if it is wrong, we should know that it is wrong and move away from it. But we tend to get addicted. We get addicted to the body. So many times we fail to recognize that the Atma is different from the body. It is a kind of addiction towards the body. There are some people who get addicted towards others. Dasharatha was addicted towards not only Rama but even towards Kaikeyi. We see it when Kaikeyi first starts putting up the act before asking for the boons. We see that Dasharatha is failing. Dasharatha is having too much attachment towards his wife. That addictive attachment is what led him to say, I will give you whatever you want. When did he say? Not when she saved his life, but when she is getting ready to ask for the boon. At that time, even without her talking about the past boon that was given by him, even before she does that, Dasharatha says, I am ready to give you whatever you want. What do you want? Please tell me. He's addicted to her. Addictive attachment is always bad. If you are addicted, be it liquor, be it people, be it specific actions, be it money, whatever, it is always going to be bad. So, yes, we should stay away from kama, that is desire. This desire is sometimes specifically expressed as lust, but it need not necessarily be called as lust. We can understand it as desire itself. Desire is bad if it is not in Bhagavan or not in moksha. Krodha, anger is bad when the cause of anger is not dharmic and the display of anger is not dharmic. Mada, ego. Are there times when mother could be good? Are there times when it is okay to have mother? Ego, pride. Well, you could take pride in being created by Bhagavan. That is not real pride, right? That does not make you get ahankara and mamakara. Ego otherwise would lead you towards ahankara and mamakara. So there are very rare cases where it is not really ego, but it would appear like ego. Otherwise, it is always wrong. Matsarya, it is being envious of the others or being jealous of the others. He is so great, I am not so great. Therefore, I will want to bring him down. He is so great, I am not so great. Therefore, I will try to get everything that he has got. That kind of jealousy is always bad. Duryodhana was a person who used to get jealous very easily. Therefore, when the Pandavas were in exile, Duryodhana wanted to make the Pandavas to get jealous of him. He prepared towards the forest with a large retinue, well adorned, going on the best chariot, with his wife who was fully adorned with very beautiful jewels, looking absolutely amazing, dazzling, with a large army, large retinue, to show his authority, his wealth, and everything, to make the Pandavas to feel jealous and then think about themselves and feel sad. What happens? Everybody knows what happens. Indra, knowing what he is doing, sends a Gandharva. The Gandharva fights against Duryodhana and others. As a matter of fact, Karna runs away from there, hides behind a tree and starts crying. All this happens. So, jealousy is a bad trait at all points of time. We have discussed all the others already. That completes the 6 enemies of man. So, all of these are roadblocks towards getting moksha. That is what we should understand by prapti virodhi. Finally, there is one artha that needs to be looked at. What is that? That is the prapti itself, the state of moksha. The state of moksha is very easy to understand. However, we will see it in the next class, as today we have crossed the time limit. If there is any question, please feel free to let me know. Or if there is any feedback, please feel free to give. Okay, there is no response. So let us conclude the class. Thank you for attending. Shri Vatsam Shakala Shodhati Kaustubhasya Shri Vishishtadvaitha Vedanta Tascha Vidyavapya Vibudhottamatam Vadhanam Kurve Sada Hridigurum Karunakarakyam Lakshmi Natha Samaram Nathayam Mandirmam Smadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Thank you for attending.